Well, hello there, everyone. Hope you're having a fantastic day today, and I hope you're all as excited as I am for this very first live stream on my channel. Can already see a couple of people are actually tuning into the live stream. Some of my friends, apparently. Hey, Jill, saw you in the chat there, and also Nick there. Glad you could join my little live stream that I've got going on here. So yeah, as you can see on your screen right now, we will be flying a very old but beautiful bird today called the Junkers 52, which is a German aircraft actually. So yeah, we've got a bunch of people watching now, so let's not waste any of you guys' time and just get right into it. But first of all, I just very quickly, sorry, want to make sure that the audio for the live stream is good. So if some of you could just type in the chat if the audio is fine. I know it might be a bit quiet, but unfortunately that's not something I can fix at the moment. That's just the quality of my mic, sadly. So, but is there any echo or something like that on the audio? Then you can type that in the chat. It's fine? Okay, that's great to hear. Fantastic. So yeah, where was I? Oh yeah, I'll first of all show you guys the flight plan for today. So I have approximately 3 flights planned for today, which should take about 30 minutes to an hour each, I think. So I would guess the stream should take about an hour to 2 hours, but obviously you don't have to watch all of it if you don't want to, but it would be greatly appreciated. So, but yeah, let me show you guys the flight plan. So let me press the right buttons here before I do something wrong here. So normally on your screen you should now see a handy dandy tablet, or as they call it in the aviation world, an EFB, which stands for electronic flyback. So yeah, you can see our little flight plan here. So the 4 airports that we'll be visiting during this stream are all on the screen right here. We are starting here at Klagenfurt Airport. I think that's how you pronounce it, but yeah, my German's not so great, so that might not be the exact right pronunciation, but yeah, there we go. So we are going to depart from this airport, and then we are going to travel north to our first destination, which is, if I can find the name again, it's quite hard to pronounce, but let me just look it up very quickly. So it's pronounced Niederoblarn Airport, I think. Very hard name to say in English. Well, hello, FlySim24. Welcome to the stream. I see you in chat there. Very nice that people are actually tuning into the live stream. I wasn't expecting this many people at all, so that's fantastic to see. But yeah, where was I? Oh yeah, okay. So from this airport right here, we are going to travel a bit further west to another airport, which I'm not going to try to pronounce. Let's see if I can zoom in here. Oh, it's actually not that bad. It's St. Johan Airport in Tyrol, I guess. And after that airport, we are going to travel to the last airport, which is also the more interesting one. If the screen could load in, that would be great. There we go, which is Reute Airport. Again, I don't really know how I should pronounce these airports, but I think that's about as correct as it should get. But yeah, that's our flight plan for today. So enough of all of this boring stuff. You probably want to see the flying part of the live stream, so let's get into that. Let me just put away our EFB again. Go back to this scene here. You guys did hear my explanation there, right? Because I'm not sure if I programmed my streaming software correctly. If that wasn't the case, then it might be very awkward. But yeah, that should be good. So, anyway, let's get into the actual cockpit of the aircraft. Oh yeah, and as you can see probably on your screen, there's a couple of other people flying in our region as well. So if you have Flight Simulator yourself and you would like to join me during this flight, you can always do that. I'm on the West Europe server, so people who don't have Flight Simulator sadly can't do that, but there might be some people watching right now that do have Flight Sim, so you're always welcome to come and join. And I have my name tags turned on, so I will be able to see you guys. So yeah. Now, without any further delay, since I've been talking for quite a while now and not much has happened yet, so let's actually get into the cockpit now. So here we are. Quite a beautiful cockpit in my opinion. It's quite complicated maybe for the people who are not used to seeing airplane cockpits, but for me personally this is one of the more simple cockpits, if you can believe it. So yeah, let's first of all open our windows here, since one of the most great things about this aircraft is really the sounds that it makes during the startup procedure and all of that. It just sounds very nice, so that's why I opened the window. Now let's just pretend that it's summer, because right now it's probably very cold in Austria, so yeah. You probably wouldn't want to actually open the windows right now if you did this flight in real life, but for the sake of the simulator we can do it anyway. Also, speaking of sound, let me just turn up the sim volume maybe so you can actually hear some of it. There we go, that should be good. If you guys have any complaints about the audio, you can always just type them in chat, by the way. So yeah. Anyway, I've been talking for so long now, so let's actually get something done here. So first thing you always want to do in an aircraft like this is you want to go to the batteries, which in this case are on this little panel here, and you want to turn them on. You also want to turn on the compartment blower here. Then we are going to change the view to, let's see here. The navigation light can go on and the wing lights as well. Then we are going to go to this view. The pitot heaters can go on as well. Parking brake is set, that's very important. You don't want to start the engines and have the aircraft go off in any sort of direction, because you could collide with other aircraft, so that's not what you want. And no smoking signs and fasten seatbelt signs can go on as well. Obviously smoking is forbidden in aircraft these days, but for some reason they still have the no smoking sign. But yeah, and fasten seatbelt sign is on as well, because everyone in the back needs to sit down, because we will be taking off soon. And the emergency lights can be armed. Don't need to turn them on, since there is no need for them. But we will arm them just in case we have to do an emergency landing or something like that. Now the interior lights, we will turn them to the dim position, so our panels here in front of us are lit up a little bit. Then to this view. So yeah, there's no GPS in this aircraft to program or anything, so we can just go right ahead and start the engines. So we'll turn on the hydraulic pump, the engine starter. All of the magnetos are in the both positions where they need to be. These big red levers can go to the start position. Let's see here if anything I'm forgetting. Doesn't seem like it, so normally we should now be able to start our engine successfully. So yeah, these are the engine displays for those of you who do not know. And to start your engines in this aircraft, you just simply need to right click, or left click, sorry, this switch right here. And as you'll see, the engine will start normally, hopefully. And I'm already doing something wrong apparently, so hold on. Oh yeah, this switch also needs to go down, but I think I might know what the problem is actually. So there's a little bug in this aircraft which prevents the engines from actually turning on for some reason. So it's not actually my fault, so yeah, it's just a bug with the equipment that I use. So let's just do this instead. So there we go. What I did there is that I just used a switch on my actual yoke that I use, or the steering wheel if you will. And that turned on all of the engines at once, so that's not something you would do in real life, but yeah. The normal way didn't work for us, so that's what we had to do in order to start our engine. So starter switch can go back off, so, as well as the hydraulic pump, like so. Can go back to this panel here. We can set these switches to the generators. As you can see, we have some electricity going through the system. And let's see, what else do we want to do? Yeah, the RPM can go to fully forward position. Those are those yellow levers there. And these red levers can go to the run position now. Down here, everything's still good. Oh, one thing I forgot was to turn on the beacon light. That's actually very important in real life, since it's a warning to people around your aircraft that you're about to start up. So we forgot that in this case. So yeah, that's in real life that would be quite bad, but in the sim it's quite alright. Down here we have our altitude indicator, which needs to be set to the current barometric pressure at this airport. So I can just do that by pressing the E. As you can see, the needle moved there, so that's great. Then down here we need to press this switch right here, and we're gonna set the flaps for takeoff. For those of you who are not really familiar with aircraft systems, flaps are basically a part of the wing that can be extended to increase the lift of the wing during phases like departure and landing. So it will become more clear once I actually show you guys, but yeah, we need to set the flaps to the start position, and then we can press this switch again. As you can see, now the flaps are in the start position. Now to show you guys what flaps actually are, you can see them there. Might need to go outside here, so it's a bit hard to see, but you can see that the flaps here on the trailing edge of the wing are actually extended a bit more downward. So what this will do is this will use Newton's third law of motion, which is basically every action has a reaction. So air that is pushed downwards will push the wing upwards, if that makes sense. So yeah, for those of you who are interested in knowing these types of things, there you go. You know a little bit more now. So yeah, we basically are ready for our departure now. Yeah, you're right, we can actually fly the aircraft. So let me just put this big ass yoke out of my way for a second. Taxi light can go on, so that switch right there. Everything else is set where it needs to be, so we can decide on the runway that we are going to use today. So let me grab the charts once again. So our EFB once again here. And let me show you the airport that we are departing from. So Klagenfurt Airport right here. And this right here is a parking chart. So right now we are parked at the apron right here. And if I remember correctly, the wind currently is coming from the port. So aircraft always want to depart into the wind, so that because that's also something that increases the lift of the wings. So the runway that best suits us for this departure would be runway 28 left. So if we take a look at our chart here, runway 28 left is actually a grass runway next to a concrete runway. So that will also make our departure way more interesting than usual. So yeah, we'll use that runway. So I can also do this, and now our aircraft will actually show up on the ground chart, which is very handy for navigation. So yeah, we are completely ready to go now. We can release the brakes and also quickly test that our annunciator panel here is actually working, which it is. All of the lights are showing up, and we can see a little bit of fuel pressure message there, but that's fine. That's nothing to worry about or anything. So yeah, let's now increase the thrust a little bit to about 1000 RPMs. That should be enough to get our aircraft moving. And then we are going to taxi onto that yellow line, the green light that you see there. So yeah, the aircraft is now moving. That's great. can see a lot of other people here in the circle. Okay, let's try to find this yellow line here. It's quite hard to see in this aircraft. There it is. There we basically want to make a left turn here right before the runway, and then we want to cross the concrete runway all the way to the grass runway, where we will be taking off today. Actually, very a lot of people. I wasn't expecting that many people in one area, especially not at a relatively unknown airport in Austria. So that's quite nice to see. There we are slowly taxiing towards the runway. That's where we want to go there. Over here. So let's increase the thrust a little bit so we go a little bit faster. And since we are, look at that, another aircraft. Very nice. Do need to pay attention to where we're going though, so... Yeah, as I was saying, as we are crossing this runway here, we need to turn on some more lights, so... We basically have the taxi lights and then you also have the landing lights, which are basically brighter lights. And we also want to turn on the strobe lights, which are also white lights, but they pulse, so they turn on and off constantly, so that they are extra visible for other aircraft. That's basically what they are. So we want to go off the concrete here and onto the grass. And the grass runway is a little bit lower than the rest of the runway, so that's going to be interesting. So yeah, let's go outside here for a better view for a second. So there we have the runway. We want to go between these signs here and then make a right turn. That guy in the Cessna there is flying away safely, it seems. It's great. And there we go, we are now on the runway. Let's get a little bit higher so we can actually see. And I've just noticed that the charts have been in you guys' faces the whole time. Yeah, I just saw the message in my chat here by Bavarian Eagle there. Thanks for telling me anyway. So yeah, I just saw it myself, but for some reason the aircraft is not really moving that fast. Yeah, rookie mistake obviously, leaving the electronic flight back in your faces the whole time. But, it's gone now, so you can enjoy the takeoff. I bet you guys also didn't see the airplane that was taking off that I was referring to, so that's a little bit of a shame. It was such a nice view to see, but the electronic flyback was probably in your guys' faces. But yeah, let's try to keep an eye on that from now on, shall we? But yeah, anyway, we are now on the runway. All of the lights are turned on, the flaps are set. We can quickly check if our flight controls actually work, which they do, so we won't crash hopefully because of that. I'm also going to grab the chart again so I can actually see where I'm supposed to go. But yeah, anyway guys, here we go. Hope you enjoyed the takeoff without the charts in your face now. But yeah. So advance the thrust to about 1500 RPMs first, while keeping pressure on the brakes so we don't go forward yet. As you can see there, the fuel pressure light went out there, so the engines are now receiving enough fuel. There we go, 1500 RPM, so we can go full power now, all the way forward. now be able to hear the beautiful sound of the engines. And there we go, full capacity, and we are rolling. Didn't go so bad. That's great. Aircraft is accelerating a bit too much, so we can increase the climb speed right now. And other than that, everything was looking great. Probably turn off the next one. And also land landing. Normally you would leave the landing lights on until about 10,000 feet, but we are never going to make that altitude in the first place. There's absolutely no reason to keep the lights on. And in the meantime, we turn on the music. Hopefully the audio during that departure wasn't too bad. I just saw that the desktop audio was going into the yellow range, so it might have been a bit loud for you guys, but should be okay now, I think. Anyway, we can start turning a bit to the left once again. Ah yes, the engine sounds. I can reduce them a bit by closing the window, like so. Thanks for your feedback, guys, by the way. It really helps to know how the audio sounds for you guys and how I can improve it. So hopefully now it's a little bit better with the windows closed. Do let me know in the chat if it isn't, then I might turn down the sim volume a bit. Ah, that's better. Great to hear. So yeah, we are now approximately on our way towards the right course to our airport. So yeah, just making a bunch of subtle adjustments to our course. And the thing about this aircraft also is that it doesn't have any sort of autopilot or anything like that. So, but as we'll see soon, it does have. There is a way to actually step away from this aircraft without it crashing into a mountain, but we'll see soon what it is. That's not for now yet. For now I'm still climbing the aircraft towards a suitable altitude, which will be 8,000 feet. So we are now at 5,600 feet, so still 2,000 feet, sorry, to go. Math was never really my thing, so I do make a lot of mistakes when it comes to calculating altitudes and all of that. Also, something that we probably need to do is keep this temperature right here in the green range. So let's open up these levers here a little bit to allow some warm air to go to the carburetor, because the carburetor is the thing that actually allows the engine to receive the fuel that it needs. So if that gets blocked by ice, then you have a big problem, to say the least. So yeah, we want to keep the temperature within the green range. So I'm just gonna keep opening up these things until the needle goes into the green. Right about there should be good for now. And we also want to keep an eye on the aircraft itself so that we don't go off course or anything. And now we just relax a little bit until we arrive at our first destination. If you guys have any questions, by the way, about either the flight plan or the aircraft that we are flying, or anything in general, you can just ask me in the chat as well. I'm very open to any questions from you guys. You can also tell me about your day a little bit in the chat. That would be fantastic as well. I would love to hear what you guys are up to. Let's see. Oh, 7,500 feet. So 500 more feet to go, and then we'll level off the aircraft. And then we'll let our trustworthy co-pilot, which is who is invisible, he will take over from us during the flight, so I can keep an eye on the stream a little bit more. Let's see here, 200 feet more to go. And there we go, there's 8,000 feet, so push down on the yoke, just 8 that. There we go. Now we basically want to keep the vertical speed here, which is the same as the climb rate. We want to keep that at 0, so we don't go over 8,000 feet. And as you can see now, the speed is increasing. We will probably cruise between 200 and 180 knots, which is not very fast for an aircraft, but for an old aircraft like this, it's quite nice, I guess. And this is also the more modernized version of the aircraft, so this is the aircraft type that people would fly in real life if this aircraft still flew in real life. So yeah. Oh, the video quality is apparently very good. That's great to hear. And I guess you're asking what software that I use for streaming. Well, I use OBS, which is Open Broadcast Software, I think it's called. Yeah, I use that for streaming, and it's a very handy tool in my opinion. So yeah, I do recommend it to anyone who wants to start doing YouTube and all of that. I use it for all my videos practically. So yeah. Hope that answers your question. If not, then you can just tell me in the chat once again. Now I need to focus just a second on pointing our aircraft into the right direction again. And then I'll show you guys how you can actually sort of cheat and turn on the autopilot for this aircraft, even though he doesn't have one. So yeah, we'll level off here, and then we'll go to our handy dandy flight assistant here, and we'll just turn on AI piloting. So if all goes well, the aircraft should now keep flying in this direction without any deviation. So as you can see, aircraft is stable, not turning or descending or anything. I just see that that's answered the question, so that's great. And it's what you're used to. Yeah, it's a very well-known application, so a lot of people probably use it. And that's also the reason why I started using it, because it was so popular. So it hasn't disappointed me so far, so that's great. Yeah, we can put away this flight assistant again. We don't really need it all that much. And now it's really just keeping an eye on the mountains around us, so we don't fly into one, because the terrain is in some places still higher than 8,000 feet, so we really need to keep an eye on where we are going. But in the meantime, we can see that it's pretty clear in front of us, so we can just go to the cabin for a little while and stare out the window, which is obviously the most fun thing about flying, isn't it? I just love sitting at the window seat and just having a view like this. Well, not exactly, because more modern aircraft don't have propeller engines anymore, but just the view of the wing is so beautiful. And then the clouds just right above our aircraft is so nice. The only real thing that ruins the immersion just a bit is all of the name tags that you can see in the distance. Without that, it would be such a realistic view, but yeah, I obviously turned them on so I can see people who join the stream. Oh yeah, that's also quite a funny thing about this aircraft. You as a passenger are able to look at the fuel level that is inside the wings, so if you're a passenger that gets a little bit worried during the flight, you can look at the fuel gauge and see how much fuel there is still in the aircraft. So if you're worried that the aircraft doesn't have enough juice to get to the airport, then you can just look out the window and you'll see, oh, the wings are still half full, so we're good. Yeah, that's quite an interesting placement for a fuel gauge, in my opinion. Also, the oil gauge is right next to it. That's the oil level there. As you can see, there's just enough oil in the engine to allow them to not explode, I guess. If they would go lower, then we would have a very big problem on our hands. But that's luckily not the case, so that's great. Let's go to the other side here. At this side you can barely even read the gauge, because it's the heat glare of the engine is completely covering it, so I personally can't read it. Maybe you guys can, but got even more people watching the stream now. That's super nice to see. And we already got a couple of likes, so if you're new here and you do enjoy the content that I make, be sure to smash that like button and also subscribe to the channel so you are always notified whenever I do videos and live streams like this. It really helps the channel out a lot, and by doing all those things like commenting, sharing the video and subscribing to the channel, then I can reach a much bigger part of the aviation community, which is ultimately my biggest goal with this channel. So it would be really appreciated, if you guys could help me out with that. So thanks to all of the people who are already subscribed to the channel and support me. Ah yes, Tanteju, that's the nickname of this aircraft, right? I hope that's how you pronounce it. I'm not really familiar with German or anything like that, so in Dutch you would pronounce it like Tanteju, but maybe in German it's different. And yeah, that's quite a funny nickname for this aircraft, actually. Okay, let's go back to the cockpit here. I don't want to crash into any mountains here. Okay, so far we are still good. Let's check our gauges again. So temperature is getting a little bit lower still, so want to go the other way around here. Let's increase the temperature a little bit. There we go, back into the green range. Anything else we can do? Passengers are probably allowed to stand up now, go to the toilet. I don't actually think there is a toilet in this aircraft, but just the passengers can then just stretch their legs or something like that. I don't know. Fasten seatbelt sign is off, so passengers can do what they want. Except obviously jump out of the aircraft or something crazy like that. That would not be great. Luckily, you can't open the doors in this aircraft. See? If I do this, nothing happens, so yeah. Anyone who's stuck in this aircraft with me is really stuck and can't get out. So far so good, everything's looking great. Just look at those beautiful mountains down there. Austria is such a beautiful country. I would love to visit it one day and just walk on one of those mountains and get to actually see this view in real life. That would be absolutely amazing. Maybe one day. Maybe. That's not wrong. Right view. Also over there it looks very nice. Bit of snow it seems, or that might just be a visual illusion. Don't really know. Okay, so we are about halfway now through our first flight. You can actually see the flight progress on the top of your screen there. That red bar that is slowly progressing to the right, that's actually how far we are into the flight. So as you can see, over half of the flight has already been done. And we are 47 minutes, or 48 minutes, sorry, into the stream. So that's great. There's no chart or anything or procedure I can brief with you guys for this airport, because the airport that we are flying to doesn't have any kind of procedures. We are just going to fly towards the runway and hope for the best. And there's no navigational aid or anything like that that we can use, so we are just going to rely on the fact that the weather is pretty good at the airport. At least I hope so. I actually haven't checked yet. Maybe we should do that as well. Let's see here. Okay. So it seems the runway that I was planning to use is not really the ideal runway, since there is a tailwind from that direction and a slight crosswind, so that's gonna make the landing at the airport quite interesting. But other than that, there's no clouds or anything like that. The wind is quite weak as well. And the temperature is quite cold, only 8 degrees there, so not going to open the windows again, I guess. But other than that, everything looks great, so we should be able to see the airport just fine through our window. Yeah, those mountains there, we might have to climb a little bit higher to get over them without any trouble. But yeah, we'll see once we get a little bit closer. we can go to the outside here to admire just the beauty of this aircraft. Absolutely stunning. Such a shame that these aircraft don't really fly around that much anymore. Wouldn't be a very great choice for airlines since it's so cost ineffective with the fuel burn and all of that, but it's such a nice aircraft. I personally would pay a lot to fly on an aircraft like this, even though it burns so much fuel. Yeah, most of you probably don't really care that much about what aircraft you fly in, I guess. Bavarian Eagle, I have absolutely no idea what engines are on this aircraft. I'm guessing it would have BMW engines, but I could be completely wrong on that one. I really have no idea. The aircraft doesn't really come with a manual or anything like that, so it's not like I can look up that information. That would be quite nice, but there's no documentation that comes with this aircraft, sadly. So yeah, I don't really know what engines this aircraft uses. Would be cool though if it used BMW engines. Would be quite fitting as well, as it's a German company, so. Actually, we might just be able to maneuver through these mountains without much problems. But just to be sure, I'm going to take over from the flight assistant here. Turn off AI piloting, and I'm going to start climbing a little bit more. I'm also going to turn a little bit to the right, since there appears to be a clearing between the mountains, and that is a bit lower. There we go. Can I put that out of our faces again? Yeah, this should be high enough, I think. It appears that we are above all of the mountains, so we can level off once again. And we are now heading just towards the airport, so the course is set for now. Airspeed is getting a bit slow now at this altitude, so luckily we don't need to stay at this altitude for that long. Yeah, back to the flight assistant here. He can take over from us since we are very lazy pilots. At least I am. Hand flying is fun and all of that, but it's not really I want to do for hours on end, so it's quite handy to have a flight assistant to do it for you. Ooh, those textures look nice. That's just something that never gets old in this sim, how great the textures on the ground look. Okay, flight assistant is struggling a little bit with keeping our altitude, it seems, but might be because of the turbulence that these mountains bring with them. There we go, he has it back under controls. That's great. Yeah, this might be a good time to actually start descending because we are getting quite close to the airport. So it was barely worth the effort to turn on the flight assistant. Yeah, I'm going to take over once again and slightly decrease the thrust so the aircraft will start to descend by itself. And in this aircraft, apparently, according to the checklist that comes with this aircraft, you want to have a descent rate of about 500 feet per minute. So that's what we will aim for, and we can actually increase the thrust again because we don't need to go quite that slow. And there we go, now we are descending. So right there in that valley there, if we turn to the right, the airport should come into view. And that's the airport where we will land this beautiful aircraft. It's quite an interesting approach, so definitely keep watching to see that. Just have to be a little bit patient to get there, since this bird isn't very fast. It's not quite a fighter jet or anything like that. So keeping it nice and steady at 500 feet per minute. I have no idea what type of aircraft a CY-57 is. If somebody could let me know in the comments, that would be great. I'm actually wondering what aircraft that is. Might be one of those add-ons that I never tried or something like that. There's a DC-6, which is quite interesting. Don't know if you could see that. There we go. The B-35, 350 I mean. That's also quite a beautiful aircraft. A lot of variety when it comes to what people fly. Seems to be quite a fast aircraft. Might be some sort of fighter jet or World War II fighter. Something like that. Should probably increase the descent rate just a little bit since we are getting even closer to the airport now. Just look at the speed of that thing, Jesus. It must be some sort of fighter jet, I'm sure. It's moving so fast across the sky. It has to be something with a powerful engine. Just has to be. There's an A320. That's an aircraft I know quite well. Cruising at 37,000 feet there. That's nice. And our destination should come into view just as we pass this mountain here. Let's see if we can spot the airport here. there it is, right there, I can see it. The concrete runway. There we have it, very nice. But, as you can see, quite close, so we won't really make it if we keep descending at this slow descent rate. So I'm gonna increase the descent rate once again to 2000 feet per minute. And I'm slowly going to start turning towards the airport now. Oh, it's a Russian fighter jet. Ah, yes. The new Sukhoi 57 it is. Right. I saw some pictures of it in the in-game marketplace. Actually looks quite nice, but I don't know if I will actually spend money on it. It doesn't really seem worth it. From what I could see, it just uses the default systems of all the other aircraft in the sim, so quality-wise probably not the best option, but yeah. From the outside it looks actually quite nice, not gonna lie. So keeping a steady descent going, we are getting closer to the airport. So my plan is to actually turn towards the runway right before this little hillside here. Now it's going to be a very tight turn, so not a lot of room for mistakes here, so that should be interesting. But yeah, I've done it 2 times already in this aircraft, so hopefully I can do it a 3rd time without any problems. Worst case scenario, we stall right before the runway and we actually do a grass landing unintentionally. But yeah, we should probably start actually decelerating a little bit more and start selecting some flaps here. Want to be as slow as possible for that final turn. So first notch of flaps, there we go. Speed is going down steadily. And also let me just turn off the music very quickly. Just for the landing, so I can actually concentrate a little bit better. Probably should have done that earlier, but hey, doesn't matter. So yeah, let's trim out the aircraft before we start this turn. Altitude is about where I want to be at this point. So yeah, this is the most difficult part of flying, guys. Making this final turn towards the runway. Actually, we want to be a little bit lower, so gonna make this turn as wide as possible, but that's easier said than done. Probably should increase the turn rate just a little bit now. Okay, there's the runway. Speed is good, altitude is good, or rather good. Not perfect, but hey. Oh, there goes the speed. Okay. Not bad, not bad. Okay, not really on center line, but that's fine. And there we go. That was quite the approach, actually. But hey, we made it on the runway in one piece, so all things considered, not really that bad. Yeah, let's turn the aircraft around now. There we go. Flaps can go back up now. There we go. And now we are going to taxi towards the hangar area over there, and we are going to park the aircraft just for a sec, and I'm going to prepare for our next leg, the next flight plan. Thanks Flight Sim 24. I actually thought it was not my best landing of all time, but for an airport like this, and just the fact that I'm streaming for the first time also puts a little bit more pressure on a person. So all things considered, it was not a bad landing, but I wouldn't call it a nice landing per se. So, but thanks for the compliment anyway. So there we go. Actually, I wouldn't really guess this airport is suited for an aircraft of this size, because as you can see, there's not a lot of room to park the aircraft, but I'll try my best. And we'll probably have to go over the grass there because that Cessna is in a very awkward spot. So let's turn over here. Now we're going to swing the aircraft around once again to face the runway. Right next to that tiny old Cessna. So there we go, parking brakes set. Let's see. Well, parking is not really my biggest strength in this aircraft, but yeah, good enough. He's quite close to the propeller blade, isn't he? Damn, if I would have gone a little bit further, he would be in a different place now. Let's just put it at that. Yes, that's true, Bavarian Eagle. It is a very spectacular approach. That's the reason why I actually chose to do this approach, to go to this airport, because it's such a nice approach to do with the mountains in the background and all of that. And it's a free scenery as well, so you get very nice buildings for no price at all. So what more would you want? Look at that! Another JU-52 heading towards the same airport as us, it seems. So might be somebody who's actually watching the stream. If it is, you can be sure to say hi in the chat there, so I actually know who you are. That's quite nice that somebody's actually flying towards this airport as well. At least it seems like it. It would be quite a coincidence if at that altitude he's not heading for this airport. But yeah, I do want to see this guy's approach actually. I hope he does well. I hope he does better than me at least. So yeah, let's turn off the engines for just a sec, so RPM can go back down, and we can turn off the mixture for the engines. Oop. Wrong way. There we go. Okay. So engines are off for a second. Beacon light can... all the lights can just stay where they are. Let's watch this guy's approach. Oh, okay. It seems that he is going for the easier approach, which is the straight in landing. Actually, he's the one who's doing it better than me, because that's the way you should do it. You should always land into the wind just as you take off, which was not something I did, but yeah. He's doing it a great job actually. Looks nice and stable, yes. Actually, I might be able to get ourselves a better view even. If you, if this guy is watching the stream, hope he knows a bunch of people are watching his approach now. Nice, nice, looking good. Ah, that was sweet as butter. Soft as butter, I mean. That was a great landing. Congrats, mate. Oh, also nice livery, by the way. I wonder if... Oh, That's not that great. Uh-oh. You okay there, buddy? You good? Did you find the brakes? You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Maybe he'll come park next to us here once he finds his way towards the gate. It's actually quite funny that he went off the runway. Really have no idea what happened there, but it's super funny. Anyway, let's finish up our first flight here. So I also recorded the flight on Projectfly, so you can see here, this is the flight plan that we followed. It's quite straightforward. We zigzagged a little bit, but that's fine. And then we did a nice and stable, or not so stable approach, but yeah, that's fine. Can complete that flight. Let's see here. 218 feet per minute landing rate. Not that great, but it's fine for this airport, I guess. Wait, where did he go? Oh, he's going over there. Okay, that's nice. Let's set the camera over here then. Oh, so nice actually having someone to fly with. I wonder if he will follow us to the next airport as well. Again, maybe he doesn't know that everyone was watching him, but if he did know, I can understand why he went off the runway, because that's quite nerve-wracking to have even a small amount of people watching you during a landing. That's pretty understandable. Don't really understand his parking choice there, but you do you. I'm not going to judge you, because I don't really have the right to. I mean, look at how I'm parked here. So crooked as, yeah, very crooked on the grass there, but yeah. Anyway, I was doing something with Projectfly here, so yeah, we can dispatch the next flight here, which will be from this airport, which I'm not going to pronounce again, to the next flight leg, which, let me, oh yeah, that was St. Johan Airport in Tyrol. That's the next destination that we are going to go to. Okay, dispatch that. There we go, that's all ready to go. We can select a new flight in. Actually, I can show you guys what I'm doing now. Can select a new flight in Navigraph here. So from logo, which is the code for the airport that we are at now, to that St. Johan Airport. Create, there we go, that's our next flight, like a little bit longer than the past flight I think, but not really that long, once again. So yeah, let's not waste any more time, shall we? And let's get into it. So before I forget, let's go back to this scene right here. So the EFB is no longer in your face. That should be better. And also I should probably edit the flight overlay. Like so. Okay, so now the flight overlay should display the new airports that we are flying to. And the red bar should be reset again. That's great. Everything's doing what it's supposed to. I love it. So yeah, let's go back inside the cockpit. I also just realized that I have no idea which buttons I'm saying. Okay, let me just think about this for a second. Okay. What? Oh, I was already in the cockpit the whole time. I feel so dumb now. Anyway, back to this view here, we can set the mixtures back to the full rich position. Sorry, can't speak. Why is position such a hard word to pronounce? I don't understand it. Anyway, those orange levers can go back to the full rich position as to allow the engines to get the fuel that they need. Beacon light is still on since we didn't turn it on. turn it off, I mean. And then we need to go over here and turn the fasten seatbelt sign back on. Don't want the passengers to walk around during the departure. Okay, I'm back. There we go. Just had to take off my jacket here because it's very warm with this running computer inside my room. But yeah, all set now. So altimeter can be set again. Everything else is good. These levers can go back to the start position, just like in the beginning of the live stream. Fuel pump and no, hydraulic pump and fuel pump, sorry, can go back on. Starter switch as well. We never turned off the wobble pump, but that's fine, so that can stay on as well. Strobe light can go off actually. But yeah, let's. I want to test this out again. If I can start up the engines manually now. Probably not because the bug is still very much alive in this aircraft. But yeah, here we go. Nope, nothing is happening. So let's do it the same way as before. There we go. 3 running engines once again. We can go through the same flows as before. Starter switch off, fuel pump off. And again, I mixed them up. I mean hydraulic pump off, fuel pump off. RPM fully forward. These switches can go to the run position. Hey, I pronounced it right this time. Taxi light can go back on and we can repeat the same process with the flaps once again. So this switch here, set it to the takeoff position and back down. Okay, now we can turn off the wobble pump again and also turn off the parking brake, and we are ready to go once again. This time I think I'm going to depart in the right direction, which is over there, so we are going to go the same way that we came. Same process as before, increase the engine power to 1000 RPM. Probably a little bit more on the grass here, it's a bit harder to get the aircraft on the move. Hopefully this guy will join us once again on our flight. I do hope he won't try to take off once at the same time as us, because that would be quite catastrophic. Although it would be quite nice if we took off simultaneously, just like fighter jets. Probably something the Germans did back during World War II, because this is a German aircraft of course, so this saw a lot of service during World War II. And that's probably something they did back then, just one big ass runway and then all take off at the same time. Hundreds of these aircraft loaded up with paratroopers or something like that, I don't know. There you can see the windsock. Wind is blowing almost perpendicular with the runway, so that's interesting. Slow down just a little bit so we can actually turn the aircraft around without overrunning the runway, like our buddy over there. And swing this baby around, like so. And of course, I don't have enough engine thrust to keep the aircraft going. Let's use some differential thrust here. There we go. Perfectly on center line. That's what I call a nice lineup. There we go. Stop right here for a second. There's no EFB in you guys' faces or anything like that, so everything looks good. We are ready to go once again. I am going to turn up the brightness of the displays here, just because it's getting quite dark. But yeah, we are ready to go once again. Throttles to 1500 RPM. About there should be good, full power. There you go. Release the brakes. Whoa, okay. Hello there. He was definitely going for it. Damn. Okay. Don't mind this. This is going to be very okay, the aircraft took off by itself. That's fine. Going through the tail of this aircraft here. It's great. Later, buddy. Hope you join us. Hope to see you at the next airport. Yeah, probably should have readjusted the trim before taking off. That might have been the smart move here. Anyway, flaps going up. Same as before, aiming for 150 kilometers an hour. And flaps are fully up now, so we can increase the climb rate. And once we have enough room between the mountains here, we can start turning towards... What is he doing, mate? What the hell? Oh, he's flying an F22. That explains a lot. Yeah, let's turn back now. Again, I don't know if that's somebody who's watching the stream, but if it is, I like the fact that you are joining us on this flight here. You are definitely making sure that there's some entertainment here. So that's great. Keep up the good work. Our other Junkers friend there is still at his parking spot. And there's somebody else landing at this airport, it seems. Oh. Keep the aircraft climbing here. Let's see here. Don't know what he's trying, but maybe he's also turning towards the runway. Actually want to see what he's gonna do. Not really paying attention to the aircraft anymore, but that's fine. What is he going to do? Is he going to turn? Oh, there we have our F-22 buddy again. Doesn't seem like he's turning or anything. Looks more like crashing to me, if you ask me. Did he just go into the mountain? I have no idea. It's so funny to watch other people fly. Oh, he's turning back now, it seems. And our Junkers buddy is also taxiing towards the runway now. Actually, he has a better idea. He taxied next to the runway instead of on the runway. That actually might be the thing that we had to do as well. No idea. I don't know what the procedure is at this airport. Anyway, might have to pay attention to actually where we are going, so actually need to turn a little bit more to the right in order to get to our destination. Can't turn to the right all the way because mountain. Don't want to end up like that other Cessna guy almost did. There's our Junkers friend, and the F-22 is also on the ground now. Still don't know what he's doing, but yeah. Might be following us around, might not be, I don't know. Also can turn off the taxi light. Oh, we never turned on the landing lights, my bad. Also the strobe lights, I keep forgetting these things for some reason. Let's see how high we are. Almost 6,000 feet. Okay, so we still have quite a ways to go. And our Junkers buddy here is back up in the air. Our F-22 friend is also airborne once again, doing his weird shenanigans. And then we have that Cessna guy who still appears to be following us, which is nice. Look at that, just looks like some sort of dogfight over there. The F-22 seems to be following the Junkers and trying to shoot it down, even though you can't in this sim. Oh no, the Cessna is looks like he's giving the landing another shot. And I'm pretty sure that Mark here, our Mark friend, is actually following us to the same airport, since he's going the same direction as us. We're deviating a bit too much to the left. Oh yeah, let's turn the music back on now, since we are back airborne. Oh, actually, it might be headed in a different direction. Don't know, maybe he's just doing some circles to be able to get over the mountains quicker. There we have a 787, A320, 777 there. Another Junkers, PC-6, that's nice. Cessna 208, that's also a very nice aircraft. Another A320. Some other aircraft that I can't really see, CC-19, whatever that is. Might be the King Air 90, I'm not sure. Honestly, I would love to fly information with him, but it seems that he's going in a different direction now, so... Or actually... He might be trying to go around the mountain. I don't know what he's doing, but I would love to fly next to him if you could catch up with him. Maybe I'll try to slow down a little bit once we get into the cruise phase, so he can keep up with us. Might do that. Maybe he's trying to cut some corners so he can get next to us, but he's quite far out now, so I don't know if he'll make it before we arrive at our destination. Yeah, that would be very nice to fly information with someone. Haven't really done that before. Doesn't seem like we can really go over these mountains here, so we are going to have to keep going to the left a little bit. And it seems the aircraft has stopped climbing pretty much and is getting quite slow, so let's just level off over here. Don't want to fly quite that slow. That might just be what we need to let our buddy over there catch up with us. Also, a big no-no in real life would be these clouds here, with an aircraft like this that has no terrain radar or something like that, so not something real pilots would do, but yeah, it's a sim, so why not? If we crash into a mountain, then we can all get a good laugh out of it, right? I wonder if it's a good idea to let the flight assistant take over. Let's try. Just for a second. I'll keep the window open on my second monitor here, just in case. That does decrease the frame rate quite a bit, but it's fine. There's another Junkers. A lot of Junkers in the air today. And a H-145 there. All very nice. You can see a very nice view of the mountains. Let's see here. How's our buddy doing? Oh, he's actually way up there, damn. And still climbing, it seems. Oh no, descending again. So he's cruising all the way up at 9,400 feet. Probably is a little bit lighter than us. Maybe he has a little bit less fuel as well. I put quite a lot, some baggage inside the aircraft, and also half a tank worth of fuel. So as you can see, it's quite clear. If we would have gone a little bit further to the right, we would have crashed right into a mountain, which is not what we try to achieve, obviously. A lot of TBMs and Cessnas as well there. Really nice to see all the activity in flight sim. Might be able to turn a little bit more to the right now, actually, because we are getting quite far off course. There we go. This is the direction we want to be in. Give or take. Nope, there we go. Flight assistant, take over, please. Thank you. Gonna take a very quick sip of my water bottle here that I have next to me. So let me just turn down the mic. There we go, all nice and hydrated now. Sun is getting quite low, isn't it? Look. By the time we get to our final destination, it will probably be quite dark, which will make it even more challenging, so already looking forward to that. How's our friend doing in the back? Barely keeping up, barely keeping up. Our F-22 friend has completely disappeared, so he might just be a random person who just thought it was an interesting idea to fly at our destination airport, which is quite nice. Quite a nice coincidence. You can see the flight assistant is doing all he can with the elevators to keep us at our altitude there. Looks like we are passing one of those CC-19s there. Looks quite fast as well. Don't know what aircraft type that is exactly. At first I said it was a C-90 Beechcraft, but actually looks like some sort of Cessna to me from here. But that might just be the generic model of the aircraft, which is not an accurate representation. Don't know. If anybody knows in the chat what aircraft that is, then do let me know. Let's go back to the cabin area, shall we? And then look out the window a little bit more. We're already 1 hour and 40 minutes into the stream, so it's taking a little bit longer than I anticipated, but that's not a problem at all. So. I wonder if there's anything that we can do in the meantime instead of just watch out of the window here. Oh yeah, that's something I forgot during the approach. You're normally supposed to turn off your carburetor heat again, but that's something that didn't occur to me during the landing, but that's fine. We didn't crash or anything like that, but yeah. Probably it doesn't even have a real function like some switches in this aircraft. They do work to the extent of you can turn them on or off and the button moves and all of that, but it doesn't really do anything for the actual operation of the aircraft. Take the fuel pump for example, you can turn it on, but if you don't turn it on during the startup process, your engine will just start up fine with no problem. So just like the wobble pump here down there, whether you leave it where it is or actually use it, it doesn't matter because your engine will just start normally. So yeah, that's one of the reasons probably why this aircraft comes at such a cheap price, because it's quite a decent aircraft for the money that you spend on it, but it's not really study level or anything like that. So yeah, but I do really recommend this aircraft to anyone who uses flight sim. It's such a nice aircraft to just do short flights like this with, through mountain areas or something like that. Just something different than the normal Airbus and Boeings and all of that. You've all seen it before on countless streams, I'm sure. Speaking of A320s and Airbus, I'm really looking forward to that sweet looking Phoenix Sim A320, which should be coming around hopefully soon. And also the PMDG 737, which should be coming at the end of this year. Let's hope they can actually keep it up and actually release it somewhere around Christmas. Yeah. Actually, it might be better for me if they released it in January, or February rather, because in January I have exams, so that's not great. I'll probably have to study instead of do flight sim and watch a bunch of videos of people flying the PMDG while I'm stuck studying inside my warm room. It's really warm in here for some reason. Yeah, that will be fun to see everyone flying the A320 and PMDG 737 while I'm having to study maths and physics and things about electricity and all of that. I wonder if we are going to have to climb a little bit more too for those mountains in the distance. Looks fine so far, but Mark's still on our tail. Bavarian Eagle, for this flight, or this airport at least, there aren't any nav aids as far as I know. Actually, I can show you if there are any nav aids. If I go to the charts here, there we have our EFB again. If I set the world map to low in route, as you can see, there are some navigational points, but not really any VORs or anything like that. And also if we zoom into the airports here, there isn't a VOR as far as I can see at the airport, or at least not one I can tune. So there are no nav aids during this flight, and there's also no GPS in this aircraft, so I'm literally just flying by following this red line between the two airports. That's how I'm navigating towards the airport. So not really visual flight rules or anything like that, but not IFR as well. Yeah, that's a peculiar way to fly to an airport, but with this aircraft you just have no other option. Even though it does come equipped with a very handy dandy CDI here, but it's not really usable when you don't have any nav aids to tune. So yeah, hope that answers your question. Yeah, if you fly to a more populated area or something like that that has a lot of airports, you'll definitely be able to tune some nav aids in this aircraft. In the radio down here, it actually has 2 nav radios, so you can even do some fancier things with 2 VORs if you wish to do so. It's a bit too complicated for me, to be honest, but might be able to try that in the future. I wonder if that's a Vertigo over there. That Victor Romeo Golf Oscar. Right over there. It seems to be going quite fast as well. We might just be able to pass over these mountains without any problems. What's my favorite aircraft? It's probably, I would say, it's quite a difficult question actually, FlySim24. My favorite aircraft would probably be, if I had to guess, the 737-800. That's the aircraft that I always flew in Flight Simulator X back in the day. That's the first sim that I used, and it was one of the few airliners that were in the sim by default. So, and that's the aircraft that I flew a lot back then, and it's also the aircraft that I flew in X-Plane 11 when I started doing that, because it was also the default aircraft. And so I progressively started to get more and more acquainted with the 737, and I know the aircraft quite well, and that's also thanks to the very, very accurate Zebo mod for X-Plane 11. Don't know if you know it, you probably do. It's a very popular mod, but yeah. So if I had to guess, the 737-800 would probably be my favorite aircraft, and also the other 737 variants. Just anything Boeing in general. I really love Boeing aircraft for some reason. I also love Airbus quite a lot, but Boeing just takes the cake for me, or however you say that. So on second place would probably be the 787. That's just the aircraft that I really want to fly in the future, if I actually become an airline pilot. But to be very honest, I just like all aircraft. That's probably something a lot of flight simmers say, but just all aircraft are beautiful in my opinion. The Junkers that we are flying right now is super nice. The 737, Airbus A320, you name it, it all looks fantastic in my opinion. Even the more special aircraft that some would consider ugly birds, but I think they still, even though they look weird sometimes, they are still nice aircraft. Just everything that has wings on it is nice. But yeah. Getting very close to these mountains here. Might want to actually keep climbing just a little bit more on second thought. Oh, didn't turn off the flight assistant. Yeah, we're cutting it a little bit closer this time. Ah, it's what you fly most of the time. Yeah, I thought so. It's such a nice aircraft. And for a freeware aircraft, it's probably the best option you can get for X-Plane 11, in my opinion. Along with the Tolis A319 and A321. But for free, it's the best aircraft ever produced for flight sim, hands down. I actually quite miss it. I don't use X-Plane 11 that much anymore, because I'm focusing on Microsoft Flight Simulator. But yeah, I do miss the Zebo mod quite a lot, actually. So that's why I'm really looking forward to the PMDG, which will hopefully be a step higher. So I will get really experienced with the 737 again. Because I feel like I'm starting to forget a lot of things about how to fly the 737, since I've not flown it for over a year. So that's quite long. So if I were to be put in a 737 cockpit right now, I would probably have to readjust to it. I wouldn't be able to find my way just as quickly as usual. There we have that very fast aircraft again. And there seems to be a clearing between the mountains, which we are going to follow. Look how close we are. We could have almost ended up as that one aircraft that crashed in Peru, I think it was, with the football team that crashed in the Andes mountains, I think it was. Yeah, Flight Sim 24, I would love to fly together sometime. Hopefully the PMD G737 or Zebomod has some shared cockpit soon. Actually, does the Zebomod have shared cockpit already? I'm not really keeping up with flight sim news these days when it comes to X-Plane 11. But that would be very nice. Very nice. Oh, look at that. Some ice is building up on the windshield. Actually, I don't know if this aircraft has anti-ice systems for the windshield. That might be a problem. Uh-oh. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, it does? Okay, that's nice to hear. I think the Zebomod has gotten quite detailed since I left X-Plane 11, so it doesn't really come as a surprise to me that it does have shared cockpit already. Where's Mark? Yeah, there he is. Oh, the ice is really building up here now. Opening the windows is probably not a good idea at this point. So, does anybody in the chat know if this thing has any sort of windshield heat or something like that? That would really help me out right now. I'm quite certain it doesn't, actually. Well, this might be very interesting to land in just a moment. We're getting super close to the airport as well. Yeah, pitot heat is on, Bavarian Eagle. As you can see, I turned it on at the beginning of the video, live stream I mean. Yeah, as far as I know, pitot heat doesn't do anything for the windshield. It only does something for the static elements and pitot tubes. Yeah, good suggestion though. I love the fact that you actually try to help. Yeah, I have really no idea how to get rid of this ice here. But yeah, that would make the approach even more interesting, I guess. Let's turn towards the right again a little bit. Hopefully, if we start descending soon, the windows will warm up again and the ice will fade away before we land at the airport. Actually. Oh no, I thought this might be some sort of windshield heat, but... I'm actually not so confident in my flying skills anymore with the way this weather is developing and the amount of light because of the sunset and now this ice on the windshield. I actually have my doubts about how this landing is going to pan out, but yeah, we'll see, we'll see. Maybe we need to go a little bit more to the left, because there's a valley over there and that will allow us to descend a little bit. And we'll just have to fly the aircraft from outside, I guess. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to descend the aircraft a little bit to get to a little bit more warmer altitude, hopefully. Use the thrust just a little bit. As far as I see, the ice is still building up instead of going away. At least we are out of the clouds now, so we can see a little bit more. There's the valley that we need to follow, and we are quite close to the mountain actually. Oh, did it? Did it have pneumatic de-icing? That's interesting. Didn't know that. Yeah, I have no idea if this aircraft also has that. The classic variant might have it, I don't know. But it would be quite illogical that the modern version doesn't have any sort of anti-ice. But yeah, maybe I'm just overlooking it or something like that, I don't know. But hopefully this altitude will be a bit warmer. We can maybe level off again. Somewhere here should be good. Is it just me, or are the windows getting a little bit clearer again? I have no idea. Yeah, it is actually quite advanced from what I've seen. I mean, it has even the classic version has so many systems that I thought were systems that I would only find in a more modern aircraft normally, but I found them in the Junkers classic version as well, and I thought by myself, like, oh, it's quite a fancy aircraft actually for the time. So yeah, that's quite true, I think. But yeah, that's what we are used from the Germans, I guess. They were always quite advanced with their aircraft. I mean, just look at the Messerschmitt 262. I mean, it was the first jet aircraft, wasn't it? The first jet fighter. Say what you will about the Germans during World War II, but they were quite far ahead with their technology, I believe, in terms of aircraft and jet engine propulsion and all of that. I'm quite sure the windows are getting clearer now, so great. I'm guessing the airport is somewhere over there, if I remember correctly. I practiced this flight one time before the stream, so just to test if the aircraft could actually land at the airport that I was trying to go to. And this is also quite an interesting approach, so that's something to look forward to. So let's start descending again. Actually, I believe I can already see the airport. Yep, there it is. There's the runway. So what we are going to do is we're going to go like that, then turn around over the little village there, and then go in for a stable landing on the runway. Again, not taking the wind into account, but yeah, that's fine. Oh, is there an original manual? That's great. Sadly, my German isn't all too great. So I also tried to watch a German tutorial on how to start up the classic version of the Junkers. But it wasn't really a success, to be honest. I didn't understand a single word of what he was saying, even though the similarities between German and Dutch, and despite the fact that I followed German classes for 1 year at school, I wasn't able to understand anything of what he was saying, so I didn't make it through even 5 minutes of that 1 hour video, so yeah. The way I actually learned this aircraft was thanks to this checklist that comes with the aircrafts by default. Yeah, maybe the manual would be a bit more handy because I can translate that maybe. And that would be obviously more detailed because the checklist doesn't give you any takeoff speeds or engine powers or RPMs that you need to use, so it's still a bit, how do you say, not very detailed, the checklist. That would be nice. I think I'm going to look that manual up after the stream. There we go, can get a better view of the airport. Also, the German tutorial that I watched was actually the reason that I made a tutorial about the aircraft myself using the inbuilt checklist. So if anyone else is struggling with starting up the classic version of this aircraft, you can also go and watch that video. I try to make it as clear as possible and as short and compact as possible, so not really an hour-long video or anything like that, just the basics to get the aircraft started. And I did get quite some views on that video and quite some good reactions, so that's great. Yeah, this modern version is actually way easier to start up since all the gauges are actually in English, which also makes flying this aircraft easier. Okay, so we really need to start our descent now. Yeah, thanks, mate. I'm trying my best here with piloting the aircraft and also looking at the chat, so I'm a bit all over the place actually. Normally I would be much more focused on keeping the right descent rate and speed and all of that, but now I'm just focusing on two things at the same time. Yeah, as long as we are still headed in the right direction and are approximately at the right altitude, it's fine, I guess. Yeah. So keeping this descent rate going now. And we should be able to start turning towards the runway soon. Let's start turning back now. While keeping a good descent rate going. And first notch of flaps is going out. And second notch of flaps. So altitude is looking good now. Can keep it at approximately 500 feet per minute, I suppose. Some more flaps should be, allow us to slow down a little bit more. And there we have the runway, so increase the descent rate a little bit, decrease the speed just a bit more. And I'm also going to turn off the music again for just a sec. And again, I'm all over the place with these aircraft. There's the runway. Let's try to make this landing a little bit more softer than the last one, shall we? for us to idle. And that was a hard landing once again. That's fine. One thing that you do really get at this airport is quite a strong crosswind. I had the same problem in the last time I landed here, so makes landing at this airport quite interesting actually. And a bunch of gliders over there, that's nice. Let's vacate the runway once again. Actually, did I turn on my landing lights? Nope, I didn't once again. My bad. Look who we have there. It's Mark once again. He's struggling a little bit, it seems. And once again, we'll be able to take a good look at his landing and approach. Quite curious, actually. Looking good, looking good. Hopefully he'll be able to stop on the runway this time. There we go, nice and stable. Oh, that looks great. A bit hard, just like my landing, it seems, but very nice. Oh, going back in the air, it seems. Are you good? You able to stop this time? Oh yeah, it seems like he's going to stop in time this time. Oh, he has a ton of runway left. He'll make it without any problem this time. Actually, where are we going to park? I've just realized. Let's just go over here, shall we? This aircraft doesn't have any reverse thrust, so we will have to go into this parking spot facing the runway instead of facing the ramp like all of these other aircraft. Oh yeah, that's we definitely broke some other aircraft by doing this. Parking brake is set, so we can retract the flaps once again. There's our buddy here. Actually, I really want to take a screenshot with while he passes here. Oh, that's wonderful. That's actually great. Oh, and the fact that his name tag disappeared is also very nice. Wait, 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 wait. Need to do something here. That's better. This might be a great thumbnail for a future video, actually. This would have been a great thumbnail for the live stream itself. Yes, Bavarian Eagle, all of the airfields that I'm showcasing in this live stream are freeware airfields that you can get on FlightSim.2. So all freeware. You don't have to pay a single dime for these airfields and you get quite a good quality, in my opinion. Yeah. Don't mind me spamming these screenshot button here. Just really nice to have a real person fly along with me for once. Very nice. So, back inside the cockpit here. I'm going to keep the engines running this time, since we will be on our way once again. So let me edit the flight overlay once again. Our final destination will be probably the most interesting one, which is Flugplatz Reuterhöfen. I think that's how you pronounce it. With our call sign still JU-1610. If you're wondering where I got that call sign from, it's just the date of that's that's how far my creativity can go for flight numbers. Oh, just look at how nice that is. Beautiful. Oh, don't want to pause this here. Actually open that window. Oh yes. I actually love his livery, German Fly. I haven't seen this livery in the Flight Sim 2 before, so that's interesting. Yeah, no worries, Flight Sim 24. Thanks so much for tuning into the stream today. I'm glad you liked it. And yeah, be sure to watch the next leg later. It will be a very interesting one, so you'll definitely want to look that. But thanks for joining us during this during the last two flights. Much appreciated. And I hope you have a wonderful evening. See you later, mate. Once again, thanks for joining the stream. See ya. Okay, so I'm going to take another sip of my water bottle here because I'm very thirsty after that interesting landing. So gonna turn down my mic once again. Okay, all hydrated once again. And if this person to the right of me is actually watching the stream, I actually want to try something real quickly. So if you are watching and you can hear me right now, let's try to do a simultaneous takeoff. If you would like to do that, I think it would be very fun. So yeah, I'm going to taxi towards the runway and I'm going to wait for this guy here next to me. And if he comes, then we can take off simultaneously. And if he isn't watching the stream at this moment in time, then it's fine. I'll just take off and he'll probably follow to the next airport, which will be also the last destination for this stream. So yeah, let's not waste any more time and let's just taxi towards that runway over there to the right of us. Because taxiing all the way there is a little bit of a waste of time, not really minding the wind or anything. So let's make sure the aircraft is configured for takeoff first. Flaps back the takeoff position. And this time I'm going to set the trim again to somewhere around there should be good. Props fully forward, yes, that's all good. Strobe lights are on, taxi light, and I'm going to turn on the landing lights as well. Seatbelt signs are on, that's great. Oh yeah, you know what, I'm going to leave the carburetor heat where it is. Ah, that's interesting. An interesting way to keep the original and modernized version apart. I think you mean this, right? Are these the oil filters or am I completely dumb? What does my aircraft have? Oh yeah, see, it has different things already, so that's indeed the classic variant. Yeah, that's it's probably correct because I couldn't find any liveries for this aircraft. Oh hey, Mark Gonzalez. So is that you next to me in the sim? Ah, that's very nice. Very nice. So I don't know if you heard it before, but I was thinking we could maybe do a simultaneous takeoff or something like that for some nice views. I think that would be super nice to see. So if you're up for it, then I'll go ahead and taxi towards the runway, and we'll yeah, very nice to hear. So yeah, I'll take the lead then and taxi towards the runway. So give me just 1 second. The aircraft should start moving any second now. There we go. Don't know how we'll manage this on such a small runway, but we'll see. Gonna take some more screenshots because this is such a nice view. There we go. So I'll wait for you on the runway until you get everything started up and all of that. I think on a runway like this, it might be better if we took off um, in front or behind each other, I think. But you can choose whatever you like. You can take off next to me or behind me or even in front of me. Doesn't really matter. It would be all the same to me. So you can go right ahead and choose what you would like to do. There we go. I'm going to stop the aircraft right here. That leaves a little bit more room behind me or in front of me, whatever you like. Oh, super nice, super nice. Okay, so let's see how we are going to do this. So I'm just going to increase the thrust now, and hopefully you'll be able to follow. So here we go. 3, 2, 1, and set. Okay, yes, you're following. That's great. Ooh. Wind is kicking me in all different directions here. And lift off. Oh, that's nice. Where you at? There you go. You have a way better climb rate than me. Okay, I'm gonna try to catch up with you there. Make sure I don't stall the aircraft though. Okay, so this is the fastest I can climb the aircraft, it seems. Yeah, amazing, right? Yes, I totally agree with you, Bavarian Eagle. Also, the sunset makes it so much nicer, and then the mountain background is such a nice moment to do this type of flying. Some more screenshots here. Sorry if I'm spamming the screenshots. Oh, you can actually not see my aircraft. That's weird. Not sure if that's caused by my system or not, but that's weird. Might have to look into that, why that's happening. But yeah, I'm actually behind you right now, so. So I'll try to catch up with you. Going quite fast, it seems. And despite the fact that you actually can't see me then, it was quite a nice simultaneous departure, I must say. It actually turned out pretty nice. Yeah, the speed that you have on that thing is amazing. Yeah, I'm indeed heavier. I put a couple of passengers and also a half a tank worth of fuel inside the aircraft, so I'm definitely a bit heavier than the default state of this aircraft. Actually can show you. So right now we have 21% fuel and a 20% payload, so we can actually make it even heavier, but I don't really see a reason why we should do that. Look at this amazing view, guys. Doesn't that look stunning? I mean, have you ever had a sim that looks this amazing? I mean, X-Plane 11 and Prepared also look very great, but have you seen this level of clouds and textures without using any add-ons? I mean, this is so nice. I can't get over how nice this is. Yeah, that does explain the lower climb rate. But even if the aircraft is a little bit lighter, it seems that we wouldn't be able to go that much faster, I think. So I don't know. Might be able to dump some passengers if we have to, but right now, as far as I can see, we still have enough fuel to get to our final destination. Can't actually read it, but I'm assuming 21% is enough to get to our final airport. Look, oh my god. I know I've said it a lot of times, but just look at this, oh. You know what, I can make it even better by turning off the landing lights. And also the taxi lights. Get rid of that. Oh, gorgeous. Yes, indeed. The only way to read the fuel level, as far as I know at least, is by looking at those um, gauges on the engines. Why they did it this way, I have absolutely no clue. It seems they could have easily put a gauge inside the cockpit, but for some reason they didn't, so I don't know why, but yeah. There's no gauge inside this aircraft that says how much fuel you have. Oh, there we go. Let's go a little bit more to the right here to follow our buddy here. And you know what? Let's actually screw the people in the back. We need to be a bit lighter so we can actually... Oh, it was your configuration? Okay. That's weird, but great you figured that out. I've dumped all of my passengers and, and cargo, so I'm trying to get to the same altitude as you. Although the aircraft is still quite struggling a bit still, but should be able to get there, I think. Actually, now I can't see your aircraft for some reason. Oh well. I'm sure you'll come into view again. Oh, is that you over there? I have no idea, but that's not really the direction of the airport, so I'm just going to keep going in this direction to the airport, because in that direction we're heading toward Germany, and that's not really where we want to be. I don't have enough fuel on board, I think, to make it all the way there. I don't really know if that's you, but might be mistaken. Okay, 10,000 feet, I think that's all the aircraft has for us. So let's level off. Aircraft can probably not really accelerate anymore. Look at the moon, that's great. And the night lighting has definitely improved in this sim since some of the last updates. I remember thinking when I started using this flight sim that the night lighting wasn't really that great, but now I really think it looks fantastic. And I'm all over the place with this aircraft once again. What am I doing? Okay, let's make use of that flight assistant once again. That way I can actually look around a little bit more. See if I can spot Mark once again. Our other Junkers buddy. There we have him. He's actually behind us now. So was that you that was to the right of me just then? Were you circling around to catch up with me? Because that's what I would probably have done if I wanted to catch up with someone. Screenshot time! Oh yes, keep coming. That's such a great view. So nice. You're actually quite good at this, I must be honest. You're very good at formation flying. What a sight indeed. It's such a stunning thing to see. Just two Junkers JU-52s flying along with each other. I can look at this all day, if I'm being honest. You're getting goosebumps? Yeah, me too, mate. Me too. Imagine how nice it would be to see this in the real life. I mean, I'm sure some air show has already done this or something like that, but damn, I would really love to see some real air-to-air footage from like this. Oh, where did he go? Vanished into thin air, it seems. Oh, nope, there he is. Probably just some server lag or something like that. I just can't stop taking screenshots of this. This is so nice. Are you serious? 6 flying Junkers 52s? Oh mate, I must look up this video. I just must. Wait, I'm going to look it up right now actually. I found a video about 5 Junkers, but is it the same? I don't know. I'm definitely going to look into that after the stream. Because I would love to see that. Where's our buddy at? Carburetor ice is still good. Oh really? Did one of them crash? That's very sad to hear. Yeah. Ryan Sky 777? No, I haven't. I have not heard of that before. I have no idea what you're referring to. Let me look it up real quickly. Oh, it's that aircraft. Oh yeah, that's a very nice one. It's the water aircraft, right, of the United States Air Force during World War II? Was that also the type of aircraft that went on a search and rescue mission? What am I saying? Search and rescue mission for a squadron of warbirds that went missing over the Bermuda Triangle, and then it also went missing. I think it's the same aircraft type as what I'm seeing. Eh? It's this, right? The Catalina. It's a very nice one. I would love it if somebody could make that for the sim as well. That would be awesome. Oh, and there we have our buddy again. I love to think about what the future local legends could be from Asobo. I do wonder what aircraft they will bring to the flight sim in future updates. I also can't wait for Sim Update 6. I really hope they will fix some of the issues I'm experiencing and a lot of other people. So I don't know if you guys have encountered it as well, but see, I can move the mouse on my screen now. You probably can see it as well. I can move my mouse without problem, but if I slew to the right a little bit, okay, now, bad example. Here, did you see that? My mouse went from in the middle of the screen all the way to the left top corner. How weird is that? It's a bug I've been experiencing for more than a month now, and no patch has fixed it yet, but it's actually quite annoying sometimes. Oh yeah, the same happens to you? Yeah. Okay, so that means I'm not the only one. That's actually quite comforting to hear, to be honest. Yeah, I don't know what exactly causes this. Oh yes. Yeah, the way I fix this usually is I just slew to the left or right, and eventually my mouse will just reappear in the middle of the screen. Sorry. Yeah, it always happens in the middle of the cockpit for some reason. See, my mouse has completely disappeared. It appears on my left monitor, but not on my flight sim monitor. Oh yeah, what problems do you get when approaching some airports? What type of problems do you encounter then? Maybe I've encountered the same ones as well. Gonna adjust my course slightly. Oh, so we have problems with the approaches, okay, and the stars. Could it be that that might be an issue with the fact that the default GPS is what most aircraft, default aircraft use? Oh yeah, ILS. I've encountered many issues with ILSs before, but not because the ILS system doesn't work, but the aircraft that I fly don't really fly it correctly. Yeah, and the approaches, I've also encountered quite some issues with that because the GPSs that are available for the sim aren't really that great when it comes to accurately programming the approaches. So that's hopefully something that will be fixed once we actually start getting a lot of payware aircraft with their own custom navigation systems, like the PMDG 737 and all of that. Okay, so I'll get most of my problems with stars at the last waypoint or something like that. So the transition between the star and the approach is where I encounter most of my problems. Is that the same with you? But yeah, I don't think we should expect any fixes from Asobo or Microsoft for this issue. I think we just have to accept the fact that the default GPS isn't that accurate, I guess. But hopefully some payware aircraft will resolve this issue. Ah yes, it's always weird things like that. Yeah, that's a good decision to make. If your GPS or navigation system screws the approach up like that, it's just better to fly manually, because the GPS will only make it worse, even if you try things like going direct to a waypoint and all of that. I've also done it before, just in the DC-6, for example. When the approach wasn't working, I just took manual control of it and landed the aircraft safely. So yeah, good decision. Very good decision. So I just adjusted my course a little bit to go to the airport once again. And we're getting quite close now, so. I doubt that we'll still have any sunlight left once we get to the airport though. Sun is just below the horizon now. And if I remember correctly, the airport that we're flying to doesn't have any night lighting, so yeah, I don't know how this is going to turn out, but we might just have to set the time to daylight again, but I really don't want to do things like that because it's quite unrealistic. But then again, throwing out all of my passengers during this flight was also not really realistic, so yeah. But we'll see. If we can spot the airport, then I'll try my best and land it without any night lighting or anything like that. But if it's actually impossible to spot the runway, then oh yeah, that's also something. We can just use the landing lights as well, but in that case you really have to get close to the airport, don't we? Because otherwise, are the landing lights strong enough to really lit up the runway before you get to it? Or is it just that the landing lights light up the runway once you are on top of it? If you know what I mean, if that makes sense. It would be nice if the landing lights actually were bright enough so that we could navigate towards the runway. But I doubt it, to be honest. Oh, you are? I'm not for this flight. I wanted to start during the day, and then just as is happening right now, I wanted to do my last flight during sunset. Yeah, the time that I'm using is now 1840, and currently at my in my home country it's now almost 11 p.m. So yeah. Oh, you can still see everything properly. That's good. But we'll see if the runway is also visible enough. But judging by the way it looks outside, it might be good to go. Oh, it's the same hour in your country? What country are you from? I wonder. I'm actually curious. I reckon it's probably pretty close as you have the same time as me. Yeah, exactly. Bavarian Eagle, it seems we all live in the same time zone. North of Spain, oh, that's nice. So yeah, that's right under Belgium. So that would make sense that it's the same time zone then. Very nice. I live in Vlaanderen, yes? In Antwerp. More specifically Womblegem. I don't know if you are familiar with it, but yeah. Are you from the same region, by any chance? How are we doing on the fuel, by the way? 13%, okay, so we'll definitely make it with the amount of fuel that we have. Oh, wrong view. There we go. Oh, you live in Rotterdam? Very nice. It's not that far though. Just a couple of hours away. That's very nice. Passed through Rotterdam a couple of times on my way to Schiphol Airport and Lelystad Airport. Yes, we will definitely do that. I haven't found a video yet. Maybe you could send a link through the chat. That would be great. And we could watch it because I couldn't really find it on YouTube for some reason. Also, maybe I should turn on the music again once again. There we have our friend again. Thought I'd lost you again. Yeah, Schiphol is very nice. I really enjoy going to that airport and flying from there to all different countries. Because normally my home airport would be Brussels airport, but I do prefer Schiphol because it's a much nicer airport. The platform that has the Fokker 100, I think it is, it gives you such a nice view of the whole terminal and all of the departing and landing aircraft, so it's really nice. Much nicer than Brussels though. Maybe we should start thinking about descending soon. Getting quite close. We're actually flying above Germany at the moment. At least I am. I think the same goes for our buddy here, over there, Mark. He's doing great, it seems. He's even higher than me. I don't know how you managed to get so high, actually. Even I literally have my airplane empty now, so... Yeah, I don't see a link in the chat, indeed. I'm pretty new to live streaming, so I don't really know how you're supposed to put links in the chat. I would think it just copy-paste, but I might be wrong on that. Could be. Could be that it just doesn't work. Technology has a habit of not working when you want it to, right? So that could be a possibility for sure. Yeah, we're almost about to cross the border of Germany. Exactly, yes. I literally can't count the amount of times that my computer or whatever has failed on me with something. So yeah, technology, however great it is, it's still not perfect. Just take the Junkers, for example. The bug that I have with my Honeycomb Alpha Flight Controls that doesn't allow me to start the engines manually, one by one. That's due to the fact that my yoke has the magneto switch, so something there is not quite right. So yeah, that's a perfect example of how technology can sometimes fail you. So yeah, guys, I actually have to speak a little bit softer now because my parents are asleep in the room next to me, so I'm, I've just turned down the volume just a little bit so I don't have to scream through my mic or anything like that. But you do still hear me, right? So I think at this point we should start descending. Because I think the airport is somewhere down there. And again, my mouse just disappeared from the screen, so yeah, there it is down there. I'm going to take over from the flight assistant once again. So, decrease the thrusts. And I'm going to use Navigraph in order to navigate towards the runway. Also forgot to dispatch my next flight in Projectfly, so let me just do that real quickly. There we go. That's all done. Now where is this airport? I think it's somewhere down there, if I'm not mistaken. It's actually quite hard to see the mountains. Hopefully I don't crash into one. And we should probably turn on our landing lights again as well, along with our taxi lights. And is there any way to turn up the brightness here? Thanks, mate. I'm gonna need it, trust me. Okay, never mind. Turning on the landing lights is a very bad idea. It makes the visibility even worse, to be honest. But I do see the airport right there, so that's what you need to aim for. That very bright spot over there, and between these two bright spots, that's our aiming point. So let's go right ahead and start increasing the descent rates. We're now flying right over the runway, as you can see. And as I suspected, no landing lights for the runway or anything like that, so we will have to do it visually all the way. And I'm once again going to turn off the music, just so I can focus on actually flying this aircraft. The shine, but yes. Somebody should definitely light up the runway for me. That's a good one. Okay, so what did I say? Those two spots, right? Okay, that's what I'm going to aim for. I'm actually contemplating turning on the landing lights again, but I think it will just reduce the visibility even more, so I don't know. Anyway, let's start turning back. I think we've gone far enough. We are already low and slow, so in a good configuration for landing. And actually, I don't know if this is a good idea, but this might make the visibility a bit better. Okay, the altitude is not really where we want to be at this point, but I believe that's the runway right there, so I'm gonna aim for that point. Let's see here. I think I see the runway, but I'm not sure. Let's pray to God that I'm right. Oh, nope, the runway's over there. Damn. Getting a bit slow here. You can barely see the runway. I'm pretty sure we just hit those three as well. And what do you know? That's actually the softest landing that we've done all day. It would be nice to keep the aircraft on centerline though. There we go. Ooh. Okay. So as you can see, quite a short runway there. Oh, and there we have our buddy. You actually have it easier than me. You can just follow me towards the runway. So. But still, nice looking approach. You definitely went through those trees. Not exactly on the runway, but I think it's great. Great landing, Captain. Hopefully you can stop before the end of the runway here. Look at that, good enough. Ooh. Strong brakes, huh? Yeah. So, let's taxi to the gate and then we'll call it a day. Follow me, buddy. I actually have no idea where I'm supposed to park this aircraft, but we'll figure it out, I guess. Okay, so that lights up quite a lot. Let's just go ahead and park right here, shall we? There we go, parking brake is set. And we can go ahead and turn off all of the engines. Like so. And then I'll wait for our friend here to taxi to the ramp as well. So all of that can go off now. Also go ahead and just turn off the aircraft completely, sorry. Okay, magnetos don't want to work, that's fine. So guys, the aircraft is completely turned off now. Thanks, Bavarian Eagle. I'm looking forward to the next stream as well. I really thought it was a very nice stream as well. And thanks to Mark here for flying along with us. It was a very nice flight with him. Don't know where he's at. I think he might have already turned off the sim. Yeah. Oh no, he's right over there. He's almost invisible. Yeah, that's going to be it for the stream today, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I wasn't really expecting much for my first stream, but you guys really made it worth every single second, and I am looking forward so much to the next stream, and I hope to see you guys there as well. But yeah, so if you're not already subscribed, be sure to hit that subscribe button as well to support the channel. I also make a ton of normal videos as well, tutorials, full flight videos, you name it. I also take a lot of suggestions from my viewers for different video concepts. So yeah, I really enjoyed the stream once again. I can't thank you guys enough for the effort that you guys put into this to fly along with me and to make this stream even more interesting than I was planning it to be. So yeah, thank you guys very much. And I'll add one.